Hello, 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 hello. This is Faye and I sell Medicare plans. We're back in business. This is the Monday Morning Podcast. This is the podcast where everyone comes who is in the Medicare business to learn what you should do, when you should do it, and how you should do it. This is the Medicare podcast that helps all of the Medicare agents and insurance professionals to be better at what you do. Today, I'd like to talk to you about who is your best sales representative. Now, you're in sales and you're a sales professional, that's for sure. But who is your best sales representative? Have you ever thought about that? Your best customer is also your best sales representative. And you should take the time to be courteous enough to compensate them just like you would a sales rep that's on your payroll. You know, in Medicare, there are limitations to what you can give to a Medicare beneficiary. However, if your customer is your best sales rep, and I'm going to tell you why that's your best sales rep, then you will also have the opportunity to really appreciate them throughout the year. And they will continue to not only be your best customer, but your best sales representative. So there are often times we meet people in coffee shops, we meet them at the library, we meet them in their homes. Everybody that you meet knows at least one other person. And if you can get that one person to be your customer, engage them with you, make notes about the things that are important to that person. They have a pet. They have a daughter who doesn't live with them. They have a son who is away. They have a husband that recently died. They have a wife that recently died. They have a sister who's suffering with cancer. Any little thing that they mention to you, make a note. Why? Because those are the things that you're going to remember to ask them about the next time that you reach out to them. And you're also going to plan to at least speak to them in some way, by phone, by text, by email, periodically. Do this based on the number of customers that you have and how frequently you can reach out. If you have a large enough book of business, then let your assistant be the person who reaches out and asks, so how is your pet doing? How is Tojo doing? Last time we talked, you were going to have to take him for some tests because your dog was acting as if he was diabetic. So what happened with that? When people feel that you are interested in what they're interested in, they will obviously create a strong relationship with you. And trust me, they don't think that you're being nosy. They actually feel like you are concerned about them. So your best customers are the ones that you're going to develop that relationship with and then convince them to tell their friends and tell them, listen, I don't want you to sell anything because you're not licensed. I don't want you to get into any trouble. But what I want you to do is just simply let your friends know that you've met me, the services that I've offered to you that you like, the fact that I stay in touch with you and I care about your concerns. Please let your friends and neighbors know that I am that person. You'll be surprised at how many of us who've been in the business for a longer time use referrals as our business now, as generating leads solely because we're just at that point. There's always someone who's turning 65. I'm told now, instead of 10,000 people a month, it's up to 11,000 people a month. There are always people now, because of the large influx of people who decided they're not going back to work. These people are leaving employment and need help. They're coming off of employer plans. They're eligible for Medicare. So there's opportunity everywhere. And you never know which one of your customers will know one of these people or two of these people. And then that person will know someone else from the same job who's thinking about leaving and refer you. Just think of the ripple effect, the snowball effect that has. One person tells another person, and then that person tells someone else, and that person tells someone else, and by the end of the month, you've gotten 8 to 10 referrals, and you now have 8 to 10 new customers. Why do I mention 8 to 10? Because if you're writing 8 plans a month, every month, not breaking this down into who is doing what periods you're doing, like what AEP or SEP or IEP, ICEP. You are just working consistently and thinking 8 applications for Medicare Advantage plans per month, then that will create for you in the next year that 6-figure income that adds to the 6-figure income you're making now, of course. So when you find a customer that appears to be upfront and honest, stick with them. Be with them through the times when they need you. If they call and ask you the same question, or they call because they're having difficulties finding a doctor, if you don't have the time at the moment, take the time sometime or have your assistant do it for you and actually get a list. And some of your customers may not have emails, or you may not be able to text, but just let them know that you'll get back to them. And one thing that I've heard Rebecca Davis say is, if you say you're going to call someone back in 3 days, call them back in 3 days. Even if you don't have the answer, call them back. Make sure that you're calling back. If you're not able to answer the question for the customer when they call you, then take the time to say, look, let me look at my calendar. I'll call you back tomorrow or the next day, or as soon as I get the answer, but no later than tomorrow or 2 days out. Give yourself the time to actually get to it, or have someone else find the answer for you. Use all the resources that you have. If you don't have the answer, do a quick text to your upline. Get the answer and then give it back to your customer. This is what keeps that customer loyal to you. You're helping them. They don't know where to look for something. You're going to help them to find it. You're going to make sure that at the beginning of the year, all of the people that you signed on for January 1, you are going to reach out to those people separately from your other customers, because not only are you going to welcome them, you're going to tell them again each of the benefits that they should be getting about their membership card. Have they gotten their membership card? Have they gotten a confirmation letter from their insurance carrier? Have they received any correspondence? You need to check on these things. Let me tell you something. I wrote a plan for a gentleman that was effective October 1st. He called me, well, first of all, he went to the pharmacy to get a prescription, and they were going to charge him $800, and that was because he didn't have a card and he didn't know how to tell them what he had. So I went to the pharmacy, and took his membership number, which I had given to him on the phone, but he didn't write it down. They put it in the system, and then he paid $45. It was a tier 3 drug. That's okay. But now I leave. I give him the piece of paper with the membership number so he has it in case he needs it. And about a week later, he calls and he says, I never got a membership card. So I do a 3-way and I do customer service, and we call, and I request another membership card for him. They say, okay. We go over the address. He says, okay. 2 weeks later, he says, I never got anything. We call in, and then he tells me, I don't live in Haines City. I live in Davenport. So now Haines City is on his application because I met him at this address. It looked like Haines City to me, and he said it was Haines City. So I assumed he knew where he lived. He actually lives in Davenport. So these membership cards have been mailed to the wrong address. Well, we got that straightened out. But this is why you stay with these customers, because some of them are just not able. They're not tech savvy, and they don't have anyone near them to help. So help whenever you can. It's such a rewarding feeling to reach out to help them. Now, where that gentleman moved to, because he's new to Florida, coming from Illinois, he didn't know very much. I also directed him to where he should go to his doctor's office. But where he's moved to is a park that has over 300 homes. I will be steadily over there in touch with him and nudging him. Listen, when you meet those people up at the bingo hall and when you meet them wherever, don't forget to tell them who helps you all the time. This becomes my number one sales representative in that particular park. So everything we do, professionals, is about the law of numbers. So reach out. Get those people who are going to be your number one sales reps, your number one customers in different areas. Someone who lives in Davenport may not be able to work with someone who's in Haines City. So you need someone in each location, in each subdivision, in each 55-plus community, in each area of where you're working. If you are doing grassroots marketing, this is by far the easiest way that you can build a business without spending a lot of money for leads and getting those referrals. It all starts with building trust, building relationships, and doing what you can to help your customers. Now, you got to make sure that they understand there's no hidden sales agenda. When you're working with them, you honestly want to help them, and you genuinely do work towards helping those customers. And trust me, they will be the best ambassadors for you, the best people to be the ones to share what you've done for them with others. So my point today in this podcast is know who your number one sales representative is. And remember, your number one sales representative for Medicare is your number one customer. Always make your customer a number one customer. This is Faye, and I sell Medicare plans. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. You can listen to the other podcasts that I have under I Sell Medicare Plans, and you can also like and share our YouTube videos. Thank you again, and have a great day.